Hello dear students, welcome back to GDC. In this video, we are going to discuss MCQs of lipid topic which will going to cover your 360 degree of your pharma competitive exam. In this video, we are going to discuss 20 important MCQ related to your lipid. Let's see what is the first question. So the first question is talks about ester of fatty acid with alcohol ester are contains lipid, protein, carbohydrate, yeah, all of the above. So ester of fatty acid with alcohol. Please remember when we are discussing the class, we have discussed all the point. What is lipid? What is its definition? What is composition? We have discussed, and all of you have to give your answer in the comment section. I will check how many of you are given the correct answer. Yes, answer the first question. Ester of fatty acid with alcohol is called as what? Your options are lipid, protein, carbohydrate, yeah, all of the above. Yes, the correct answer is lipid. So you remember, so lipids are what? So lipids are organic compound. Okay, they are made from fatty acid, and alcohol. Okay, these are lipid. So the correct answer here is lipid. Let's move to the next question. All of the following statement about lipid are true except. So you have to find out which statement is wrong one. Your option is insoluble in water, soluble in organic solvent, fatty acid as a ester utilized by non-living organism. Yes, comment down your answer in the comment section. Which of the following statement is true? Here one word is except. Okay, you have to find the statement which is not true regarding the lipid. Okay, so remember, first thing is what is lipid? So lipids are the organic molecule which are made from what? Just now we discussed one is your fatty acid and your glycerol. Okay, fatty acid or glycerol, or we can call it alcohol. Okay. Now you remember these are insoluble in water but soluble in organic solvent. First point. So if you'll see, first point is they are insoluble in water. They are not soluble in water. Second point is soluble in organic solvent. Soluble in organic solvent. Third point is already told you these are the fatty acid esters utilized by non-living organism. No, it is basically a biomolecule. I told you na all these lipids, whether it is a lipid, whether it is a carbohydrate, whether it is a protein, whether it is a nucleic acid, whether it is a vitamins, enzyme, all are what? All are called as biomolecules. So what is the definition of biomolecules? So biomolecules are the compound which is utilized by living organism for different homeostatic process. Okay, so here the correct statement is option number D. Now moving to the next question, which are act as a carrier for fat soluble vitamin. So first, remember what are the fat soluble vitamins? So vitamins are two type, either it is fat soluble or it is water soluble. Here the question is about fat soluble. So fat soluble vitamins are A, D, K, E. Okay, vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin K, vitamin E. These are four are called fat soluble vitamin. So question is which act as a carrier for a fat soluble vitamin? Your options are lipid, proteins, carbohydrate, yeah, all of the above. Answer the question. You have to find out which of the following biomolecule act as a carrier for this fat soluble vitamin. Yes, I give you 20 seconds. You have to answer this. Which are act as a carrier for fat soluble vitamin? Yes, the correct answer is lipids. So you should know because lipids are basically lipophilic compound. So are due to its lipophilic nature, so they are basically act as a okay, lipid are basically act as a carrier. Okay, it what is its major function? It basically carries this vitamin from one location to the another location within our body. Okay, so option A is the correct answer. Next question, which are not the role of lipid. Okay, you have to find out which one is not the role of lipid. Or option was act as a fuel and yield energy, act as a insulation and protect vital organs, it supply essential fatty acid, it is synthesized in the body. So you have to find out which is not the role. So first thing is you should understand what is lipid. So lipids are biomolecule, then what is its function? This question is related to function. So first function is it is the storage form of energy. It is the storage form of energy. Okay, these lipids are basically act to store energy, and this is basically utilized when body needs. For suppose I got for a fasting condition. So during fasting condition also our body metabolic process work. So during that condition, basically this lipids are source as of fuel. Second point is, as we told you, lipids are basically act as a insulating material. These are basically present and in our body, and it basically insulating. That means it carries the heat within the body. That's why we do not feel much colder when much colder. Okay, and it also protects our vital organs. It is essential for fatty acid because fatty acids are further converted to acetyl coenzyme where it provides us energy. It is synthesized in the body. This is not the correct function. So these three are functional. These all are related to function of lipid. Okay, it is related to function of the lipid. Option D is the correct answer. Next question: fat and waxes are which type of lipid? So this question is related to classification. So lipids are majorly classified into three major classes. One is your simple lipid. Second one is your conjugated lipid. Third one is your derived lipid. Here, the question is about, here they give the example, fat and waxes, they are comes under which type of lipid? You have to find out the correct answer. Fat and wax are basically which type of lipid? Either it is simple lipid, conjugated lipid, derived lipid, and none of them. So fats and lipid, okay, I'll give you 20 seconds. You will guess the answer and put your answer in the comment section. Fat and wax are which type of lipid? They are basically a class of simple lipid. Okay, so fat and wax are they are class of simple lipid. Okay, so in case of conjugated lipid, it is basically conjugated with whether it is a nitrogen base, phosphate group, and protein, uh, then carbohydrate. They are conjugated with this, and derived protein is completely different. Okay, now moving to the next question. Ester of fatty acid with glycerol. Okay. Ester of fatty acid with glycerol is called as triglyceride, waxes, phospholipid, or glycolipid. So ester of fatty acid with glycerols are basically your simple lipid. Okay, they are class of simple lipid. So simple lipid, you have two class. One is your fats or oil. Second one is your wax. So what is this difference between fats and oil is the alcohol. In case of fat and oil, you will the alcohol is glycerol. But in case of waxes, the alcohol is cetyl alcohol. The alcohol is cetyl alcohol. So here the correct answer is option number A, that is triglyceride and fat. So you remember, for question on one time, in case I think in pharmacist exam, question was asked which is the most common alcohol present in wax. So you remember the correct answer is cetyl alcohol. All these things I have discussed you in your live classes. Okay. So moving to the next question, which are not a type of compound lipids. Okay, which are not a type of compound lipid. Phospholipid, glycolipid, sulfolipid, fatty acids. So this is you can sulfolipid or we can write sphingolipid. Okay, which is not of compound lipid or conjugated lipid. Conjugated lipid. Answer this question. Which is a not? Okay, you have to find which is not. Phospholipid, yes, it is a compound lipid. Glycerolipid, yes, it is a compound lipid. Sulfolipid or sphingolipid, yes, but fatty acid, this is basically a simple lipid. Okay, why it is not the answer? Because it is a simple lipid. You should also remember why this answer is not correct also. Why these answers are correct, that you also need to learn, and why it is not correct, that answer also you need to remember. Okay, next question. Derived lipids are fatty acids, polyisoprenoids, sterols, and steroids, yeah, all of the above. Derived lipids. Derived lipids are what? Fatty acids, polyisoprenoid, sterols, and all of the above. So one thing you remember, these derived lipids are basically derived from simple lipid and conjugated lipid. Okay, it is derived from these two. That's why it is called as derived lipid. Fatty acid, yes, it is a simple lipid. Polyisoprenoid and steroid, they are comes under derived lipid. So here the correct answer is option number D. Okay. Now moving to the next question. Incorrect statement in types of lipid. So you have to find the incorrect statement. Simple lipid, fat. Conjugated lipid, lipoprotein. Derived lipid, glycoprotein. Simple lipid, waxes. You have to find the incorrect statement. Yes, answer this question. You have to find out the incorrect one. Okay, see the question and give the correct answer. Simple lipids are. So please remember, I told you simple lipids are fat and wax. So that means A and B is correct. Conjugated lipid is lipoprotein because this is associated with lipid plus protein. I told you they are associated either with lipid or with carbohydrate or with nitrogenous bases like that. But glycoprotein, this is carbohydrate plus protein. So it is not a derived protein, it is a conjugated protein. Glycoprotein is a what? It is a conjugated protein. Okay. Option C is the correct one. So you should remember why this option is not correct, why this is correct. You all should know. Okay. Now moving to the next question. Ester of fatty acid with higher alcohol. Ester of fatty acid with higher alcohol is called as what? Triglyceride or fats, waxes, phospholipid, glycolipid. Yes, give the correct answer. Ester of fatty acid with higher alcohol. Very, very easy question. Just now we have discussed that question. Comment down your answer in the comment section. Okay, I will check how many of you have given. You guys are not giving a comment, so that's why that is basically reducing my interest to interact with you guys. So you should interact. Okay. So we are discussing a very, very important topic of your biochemistry syllabus. So you need to interact with me through this comment section. Okay, let's give this answer. First thing is, ester of fatty acid with higher alcohols are basically your simple lipid. So first hint you have get, the question is related to simple lipid. When the question is related to simple lipid, your phospholipid, your glycolipid will automatically disqualify because these are conjugated lipid. Next is triglyceride or fat. This A and B will be the answer, but you have to choose single one. So in case of triglyceride, the alcohol is very simple one, that is your what? Glycerol, lower molecular weight alcohol. But in case of waxes, it is cetyl alcohol. Cetyl alcohols are higher molecular weight alcohol. So here option B is the correct answer. Okay. Now moving to the next question. Condensation of one molecule of glycerol. Condensation of one molecule of glycerol with three molecule of fatty acid is formed what? Triglyceride, cholesterol, lipoprotein या arginine. One molecule of glycerol plus three molecule of fatty acid. This will leads to what? This will leads to Triglycerides. Okay, this will lead to what? Triglyceride. Option A is the correct answer. Arginine is not. Arginine is a amino acid. Cholesterol and lipoproteins are higher molecular. High, actually, cholesterol, this is basically comes under your derived lipid. Lipoprotein is basically your conjugated. Next question. Fats are insoluble in. Starting in first question, I have clearly told you. Fats and are insoluble in water, benzene, ether, and chloroform. What I told you? Fats are soluble in organic solvent. Okay. Second point is insoluble in water. Benzene, ether, and chloroform. These three are organic solvents. So these are insoluble in water. Option A is the correct answer. Moving to the next question. Choose the incorrect statement for physical properties of triglyceride. What is the question is related to the physical property? No color, no odor, sweet taste, low melting point. You have to find the incorrect statement. Okay. Choose the incorrect statement. No color, yes, correct. No odor, correct. Low melting point, correct. But sweet taste, no, these are not having sweet taste. Okay, so the sweet taste, which question, if the question is which biomolecule have sweet taste, then your answer will be protein, because protein contains certain amino acid which having sweet taste. That's why they are little bit sweeter in taste. Okay, lipids are not sweet in taste. Next question. Hydrolysis of fat by alkali. Very, very important question. This process is called as saponification, hydrolysis, hydrogenation, yeah, halogenation. When fat, please note it down, when this fat undergoes saponification, okay, in the presence of alkali like NaOH or KOH, it will produce fatty acid plus soap. Okay, these are basically called, this process is called as saponification. Okay, option A is the correct answer. Next question. Unsaturated fats. Okay, next question is unsaturated fat when combined with hydrogen in the presence of catalysts like nickel and process. Okay, is called as saponification, hydrolysis, hydrogenation, yeah, halogenation. Yes, very, very easy and important question. You have to answer this question. Unsaturated fat, okay, combines with hydrogen. Okay, that means you are adding a hydrogen in the presence of a catalyst like nickel. So the addition of hydrogen to a compound is called as what? If you will simplify this question. So your options are saponification, hydrolysis, hydrogenation, yeah, halogenation. Yes, saponification, hydrolysis, hydrogenation, yeah, halogenation. So addition of hydrogen. Yes, what is the answer? Comment your answer. Addition of hydrogen. This process is called as hydrogenation. What it is called? It's called hydrogenation. Option C is the correct answer. Next question. Unsaturated fats. Unsaturated fat when combined with halogen in the presence of iodine and bromine. The double bonds at the double bond are called as what? Saponification? No. Hydrolysis? No. Hydrogenation? No. Halogenation? Yes. Because here we are adding this iodine and bromine. These are called as what? They are called as halogens. Okay, they are called as what? They are called as halogens. When you are adding halogen, then that process is called as halogenation. Okay. Next question. Rancidity leads to the formation of peroxide at double bond of fatty acid, single bond of fatty acid, triple bond of fatty acid, yeah, none of the above. So rancidity means what? When you expose this fat or oils to open air, you will develop, there will be a development of certain bad smell or bad odor. This is due to deterioration of this fat and oil. So during this deterioration, the question is at what position this deterioration takes place. Your option is at double bond, or at single bond, or triple bond, or uh, or none of the above. So first thing is rancidity always seen in case of unsaturated fatty acid. Okay, it is majorly seen with unsaturated fatty acid. Now, this unsaturated fatty acid, when exposed to this double bond of unsaturated fatty acid, when this exposed, there will be a deterioration. So that's why option A is the correct answer. Next question. Identify the process, name, given structure. So this is a triglyceride. Okay, you are adding water. Simple process. If you add water, this process is called as what? Saponification? No, because you are adding alkali. Hydrogenation, you are adding hydrogen in the presence of nickel. Halogenation, you are adding like iodine or bromide in the presence in the at the double bond. So then what process is left? That is your hydrolysis. So when you add water to a reaction, this process is called as what? Hydrolysis. Okay? Understood? This is very, very important point. So here, when you add triglyceride to water, you will form glycerol and fatty acids. Next question. Rancidity can be prevented by addition of. Yes, very, very important question. Answer this question. Rancidity can be prevented by antioxidant like. So first tell me which vitamin having antioxidant property. Tell me. Which vitamin has specific antioxidant property? Yes. The correct answer is vitamin E. Vitamin E having antioxidant property. Even vitamin C also have certain antioxidant property. Okay, but this vitamin D is basically used as a antioxidant. Okay, it is used as a antioxidant. It basically added to your lipid to prevent this rancidity process. So option D is the correct answer. Last question. Saponification. Alkali salt of fatty acids are called as soap, detergent, both A and B and none of them. I told you na. What is formed during saponification process in the presence of alkali? What is formed? Yes, very easy question, very direct question. What is formed when you treat a lipid with a in the presence of alkali like sodium hydroxide and potassium hydroxide? What is formed? Soap form, a detergent, yeah, both, yeah, none of them. Yes. Soap, na? Soap is formed. That's why we call it saponification. Due to the formation of soap, its name is called like saponification. Okay. The correct answer is option A. Okay. I hope you guys are understood about these 20 important questions related to your lipid topic. In the next video, we will come up with another important 20 questions related to your lipid topic, which will make your concept more crystal clear. Okay, so stay connected with GDC for more such content. Thank you.